Hey there everybody, Gideon's Tactical here again, doing another knife review. This knife review is from a product line I have never reviewed before, so I'm looking forward to this one. This is the Condor Survival Craft Fixed Blade Knife. Just tell you really quick about Condor if you've never heard of them before. This is not Condor Tactical, which is like a tactical gear company. This is Condor from El Salvador. These knives that you see in all the Condor knives are made in El Salvador by the Condor company, and they're shipped here to the United States. So every single one of them you'll see has, and what's cool is a lot of knife companies don't do this anymore, stamped on it, Condor on one side, on the other side, El Salvador. So just a cool, another company to look at, particularly for, they do a lot of bush type of knives, not really tactical knives, much more of, something you're going to use in the jungle that people in El Salvador would use, if you're a bushcrafter, that type of stuff. So let's look at this Condor Survival Craft Fixed Blade. Give you some specs here really quick. We're going to look at the knife first and look at the sheath as well. Very unique design right off the bat when you're looking at it. Definitely not something you see every day on the shelves. Let's see here. It has a 4-inch blade, and it's 8.5 inches overall. This is obviously a plain edge. It's made, the steel, and this is a full tang, is made out of 1075 high carbon steel. So not as good a quality as 1095, which most K-Bars and Ontario Knife and some of those other companies use for their carbon steels, but still a good quality carbon steel. Makes it a little bit softer so you can sharpen it a little bit easier than the 1095. So let's just kind of look at it here. Right off the bat, you can see huge convex edge here. So you can see it doesn't really have even a micro bevel there. This is almost a Scandi grind. It's not quite a Scandi grind, but it's close. And I think that's why a lot of bushcrafter guys like this, because they like the Scandi grind. So this is a convex edge. I hear a lot of people complaining that their knives are dull out of the box. What I've found here, if we're looking at, let's say, a Mora. This is a Mora clipper right out the box. I mean, this is razor sharp. You touch this thing and you're going to bleed. So let's say this is 100% sharpness. I'd say that this Condor is at 75. It's not dull. It's definitely not dull. I cut up some cardboard boxes just now with it to kind of test its sharpness. Cut through it just fine, particularly, whoops, sorry, bumped the camera there. Particularly when I was hacking, I was like whoosh, 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 going through the cardboard boxes, and then I pushed through them, and stuff. I mean, you can definitely hear a lot of people saying like, oh, you need to touch it up and it's super dull. I don't find that to be the case. If I put any pressure on my thumb right now, I'm going to totally cut myself. So maybe it's just knife to knife. I have no idea. But this is not a dull knife out of the box. It's not a sharp knife. It's not like screaming, shave your arm hair with it knife. But it's not dull either. So this is the convex edge, very easy to sharpen. You just throw it on there and start going to town. Because of the high carbon, it does have this coating on it. It looks like pretty good coating from what I can tell. But this edge is definitely exposed, so you just got to kind of maintain this because it has a tendency to rust. So you'll definitely have to use WD-40, and particularly if you live in a rust where metal rusts easily, lots of humidity, you'll definitely want to take care of this knife. Very interesting edge there, huge belly, so you can get some really nice, cutting there. No tip whatsoever. Again, kind of like it's not a tactical knife. This is definitely more for bushcrafting, using out there in the woods, survival type of thing. It almost kind of looks like a shovel to me, or a spoon in the beginning. I mean, up here at the tip, and it's definitely a rounded tip, which means it won't break. If you're having to dig in the ground or something like that. Pretty thick. The thickness is 0.125 for the blade thickness here. It doesn't have any jimping here. I would have liked to maybe see some jimping, and if the spine was a little bit thicker, that would have been a plus. I mean, it's definitely strong. You're not going to bend this thing if you're using it kind of like more in a prying situation. But it does have this thumb ramp, and not really a choil, but it acts as a choil right there. And when you're holding it like this, I mean, it just feels great in your hand. You just feel like you could definitely do some good work with it, and your hand's not going to get tired out, or anything like that. So they did a really good job kind of designing this to have a little bit of a finger choil and a thumb ramp. Jimping would have been nice, but you know, this is kind of a not, I wouldn't say low-end knife, but they are cheap. You know, they're cheap to manufacture, and you know, that just means that they have to put more time in it. And you're going to pay more money for it. You know, if you wanted to, you could use a little Dremel tool and make your own jimping if you wanted. So that's that. Onto the handle. It's a Kraton material handle. I've definitely seen better texturing. It's got a little bit of texture. It's similar to like a limited G10 texturing. So definitely, you know, when if you're sweating and using it, you know, or whatever, it's not gonna get all slippery on you and slick. Sorry, I'm having camera issues here. But you know, if you drop this in the river, you might want to let it dry off for a minute or two before you use it again. So the texturing is so-so. But I mean, it's got a nice rounded edges to it, you know, and it feels really good in the hand, contours well to your hand, particularly when you're kind of using the choil and the thumb ramp. You know, and I have a large size gloves, so I mean, it fits perfectly. I wear large size gloves, and particularly if I'm up here, I have plenty of room to spare. So that's nice. Got a nice big lanyard hole, so you can throw a lanyard on it for those of you who like lanyards. So overall, you know, for what it is of a bushcrafting, you know, definitely like jungle type of, you know, cutting wood type of knife, it's great. This would be a good complement to a Mora. You know, if you got a Mora for your detailed and your sharp work and stuff like that, and then you want something that's a little thicker that you can kind of hack more and maybe baton with, you can definitely baton with this Condor versus I would not be batoning with a Mora, in my opinion. You know, and with a 4-inch blade, you can definitely do some good batoning of, you know, pretty good size wood or branches or what, you know, whatever you want. Onto the sheath here really quick. Nice, really, and Condor does a really good job with their sheaths. I've watched a lot of videos. All their sheaths are very generic, very much the same. You see they got the Condor stamp on it right there, their bird and Condor it says. They got the two steel stamps right here to hold it in place, and then nice big stitching, nice and thick, very large, thick belt loop. You could definitely get a tactical belt on this if you wanted to. Doesn't come off or anything, you know, got double stitching, which is good, and double stitching in here as well. But, you know, that's going to fit nice and easy on your belt. No over-the-top loops or anything like that. And I think this, like, almost all their knives fit in this very same or similar designed sheath. So the knife just slips right in there, goes in deep, but great retention. You know, I mean, it's not coming out or anything like that. No rattle whatsoever. And it's nice and snug in there. Then when you're ready to go, you just pull it out, boom, and you're good to go. So, I mean, just a very basic, very generic bushcrafting, you know, survival type of knife. It is high carbon, so you can get a good strike with it with your fire starter. You know, it's just interesting. It's kind of a cool thing to kind of take out there. I'm looking forward to maybe taking it out and kind of doing some hacking and beating with it. You can definitely, I'd say again, with the dullness, it's not a dull knife by any means, but you could definitely within a couple minutes put a really wicked edge on it if you wanted to. It's not hard to sharpen this knife, in my opinion there. So hopefully this helps you guys out a little bit. This is the Condor Survival Craft Knife. Check it out, pick one up. They're not expensive, and you won't be disappointed for a full tang bush knife. Thanks for watching. Remember, stay equipped and stay prepared. Have a good one.